Today I'm gonna blow your mind. I'm gonna show you some earbuds that look nothing like anything you've ever seen before. They're from a company called Odyssey. In front of me, I have the iSign 10, and they are planar magnetic earbuds, which as far as I know, this is like a first right here. There's a bigger brother as well. Over in this box, without the retail packaging yet, is the iSign 20. Now these are just a little bit more expensive, 600 bucks. And these ones are $399, 400 I believe. So it's a little step up. Both obviously incredibly expensive. This ain't an AirPod or an EarPod. There's no pod in the name at all. Now obviously that comes at the expense of having a bigger headphone, but if you care about music, you're willing to make that sacrifice. If you really care. If it hits you right in the loins. The concept here is that by using the lightning port, the brand themselves, Odyssey, can have their DAC in line. You can end up with a far more pleasing sound in some cases than what the traditional 3.5 millimeter connector can provide. Now, both of these come with options, so you can still use an analog connector if you don't have an iPhone. The mini jack is still there. How are you going to drive a substantial enough signal to take advantage of the headphones? And that's what they're aiming to do. All of a sudden, it's Euphoria, 3000 MW. Fluxar N50 magnets, super efficient for 2 times the driving power. The lowest distortion of any headphone anywhere. That's that crunchiness, that's that stuff that wasn't meant to be there. Now these are 30 millimeter drivers as well. And the material here on this one is going to cover even more of the diaphragm of the earphone. There are 4 separate patents inside of this earphone. Apparently they are handcrafted in California, which that can't be said for many products these days. So if that's significant to you, that is another thing to think about. Nice little travel case. Ooh, wow, that's the actual earbud. Look at that thing. This certificate guarantees the Odyssey product was thoroughly tested and burned in, and a certificate of authenticity. So 2 separate cables here, one using the lightning connector and has an inline DAC in it, the more traditional mini jack connector, no DAC built in. A number of different ways to fit these things on your ear. Now obviously, actually, you know, it's not as heavy as I expected it to be. Ear hook type scenarios to get it in there, and that's it, and that'll fit into your ear. And it actually, I know it looks big and unusual right now, but it's very secure on there. There's a couple of little pins there. To the corresponding earbud, you'll see L and L represented there. There's an app for these, so when using the lightning cable, you can tune your sound. You can see you have a various stage equalizer here, so even if the sound attributes out of the box don't meet your criteria, you go in here and tinker with this thing. I'll start with some mellow jazz. There's a ton of juice right away. I can discern these things are incredibly full. From a clarity perspective, I was getting tingly. I was getting a little tingly there, which is always a good sign. I'm gonna switch to something more electronic here. Oh. Woo! Thick. The thickness. You want to talk about a tingle factory? That's where I just was. All right, holy smokes. It really has a vibe and a feel a lot closer to an over-ear headphone. It's the most and cleanest bass I've ever heard on an earbud. The craziest part here is that these are not the most high-end version of this particular design. That's the 20s. Oh my goodness, I think I like them even better. It's like a copper kind of look. Now the question is, should you pony up the extra 200 bucks and go all the way to the 20s because you're already spending 400 on earbuds? We're about to find out. Focus, Lou, focus. These things are making me emotional right now. It's a whole body thing right now. They're a little bit thicker. I want to jump into the EQ. There's a kind of like happiness associated with hearing music in a super crystal clear kind of way, like when it almost feels like the veil has been lifted off of it, and like it's the way It was intended to be heard. You can kind of go in and create a dynamic environment that's perfect for you. You can make these even more dynamic than they already are, even though out of the box, they're gonna give you shivers, all right? You're gonna be chilled out. Different type of, you'll be sitting there like, I don't know if you're ready for that. 30mm drivers are terminating down to this tiny little ear hole right now, and I'm sucking it all in. Today's a special day. Thank you for being with us. Me. Us.